All right, ladies and gentlemen. Usually I do this with Zach Ochoa, which we'll probably be doing it on Friday, but this is an impromptu situation because we've had some breaking news in the boxing world. And of course, I had to throw in the word that everybody likes to just throw around, which is stacked. But this, I think, is truly merits the word. And to share that sentiment or disagree with it, I have my old pal Mike Woods, uh, broadcasting live from Brooklyn, New York City. What's going on, Mike?
Last night I was listening to the album. They used to have things called albums. The album called New York by Lou Reed. And many people don't know who that is, but he was very popular in the 60s and the 70s. And he really evoked a certain mood about New York City at a certain time. And so I was getting all lost in that. But Sarge, you get me. That's the kind of place you bring me because I've known you for a number of years. So you bring me, you get the feels going in me, and That's what I'm. That's a great boxing card that they got coming up. But first and foremost, can we just dispense with the baloney and just say happy holidays?
Yeah.
Um, Happy Thanksgiving.
hmm
Hey, you remember? Remember? It was a couple years ago. I think I was writing for Ring, and so I was like, collecting celebrities and people in boxing, what they think about Thanksgiving coming up. So I messaged Bob Arum, right? So Bob, any messages for Thanksgiving coming up? And when he texted back, you could hear his fucking voice, right? Because he's saying like, "Nah, fuck that sissy shit."
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you telling me that.
And it's just
Oh,
like, bang. That's like as good as having good stuffing and gravy on Thanksgiving Day. No, it's not. But it's in the same ballpark. Anyways, let's just before we get to talking about all the big boxing, no, we'll talk about the big boxing because it's your wonderful show, but it's coming to the end of the year, buddy. Wow. So what you're saying is we're kicking it ahead. We're looking ahead into 2025, and that got my juices flowing and my head going, and I'm like, maybe it'll fucking be a good one. Maybe the season will be a good one.
and
Let's
correct
start from a position of upbeat
and co-
optimism, willing it to happen almost, not new agey, whatever the fuck, just fucking have a good disposition. I'm speaking of the March 1st Gervonta Tank Davis fight
Mhm.
against Lamont Roach. That's what's swirling in my head first and foremost because we're talking a certain day and then we're looking ahead to that. Damn it, we need that. We need energy, vibrance, yes, some violence. Gervonta Davis is the Mike Tyson of this generation. So March 1st, things to look forward to. I bring it up in the Little Purity Diner on 12th Street and 7th Avenue. Kids' eyes go wide. He's in the local in the neighborhood. He's a chef for people. He makes meals for right individual meals, and he says, "I want to go to that." He says, "I went to boxing at Barclays Center," and he says, "Cuban guy was Cuban guy was fighting. I don't remember." I said, "King Kong Ortiz." And he says, "Yeah, it was great."
But listen, Woods, I want to say this though. Correct me if I'm wrong. This has got to be the first time in some years where we are getting an announcement of first quarter fights this early or this late in the previous year. Because normally, if I'm not mistaken, it's January you start getting the news. Okay, February, March, this is what we're gonna start doing. But this year, it's almost like, well, since the year is over for some earlier, then they're like, okay, well, we want to We want to whet your appetite and let you know what's coming up.
This is early for that, yes.
Yeah.
It really is. But, well, I guess I say, you know what, salute for making us think about it now. It speaks to a wider issue and indeed a problem. Boxing writ large as a whole in the United States is not has not been 2024 has not been a year of abundance and cohesion and I don't know other things that boxing ain't, that it usually ain't, and this year hasn't been. I say the if when we look back on this 2024, 10 years from now, people be like, oh yeah, that was, right there. Turki Alalshikh was making his bang, trying to make his big imprint into the sport. We'll see how that goes. Hear me out here. I'm thinking of that in the context of the last guy who tried to go big, all in, change the game, go bold, big, or go home. Al Heyman, 2014, 2015. Turki Alalshikh doing at a different level now, at a different monetary level now. It's sort of mind blowing. You are covering boxing. Do you ever get your mind blown where you came from, military, and then the overlap, not in entertainment, but in, traversing the world and whatever? Wow. It's a fascinating chessboard sort of scenario, sir.
Yeah, yeah, and listen, before I make my next point, shout out to Mrs. Make It Happen. She's saying what's up on X, and our guy Marvelous Marcos. He says my guy is Abe and Woodsy. What up, Marcos? Um,
He bought
yeah,
us Pepsis and beers in New York.
yeah, yeah. At Jimmy's.
Jimmy's, bro.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so hey,
So,
let's listen. Let's just.
all
I
right,
don't care. I'm gonna. It's your show, but if I turned it
yeah,
into a plug-a-thon for your stuff, I think you're happy with that.
yeah.
I'm gonna go to Barclays Center tomorrow. Tomorrow being when?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, and we're gonna cover Gervonta Davis Lamont Roach press conference, and I'm going into it with no bullshit. No fake chutzpah, blah, say it because I have to. I'm going into it like, all right, you know what? This might be fucking pretty decent.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't lie to you and say, oh, this is gonna be the best fucking thing in the whole world. No. But I think it has the capacity to definitely be decent fight. Lamont Roach. I see him as a good fighter. He could have existed in any era.
Hmm.
Good basics. Has been in the gym thousands of freaking hours. So there's no, this is as far as levels go. No, I think this is going to be that one right there. Good solid prize fight. I hope so. But my point there. I want to be optimistic about it. I think there is ground for optimism there. I'll throw it back at you. You could tell me, no, Woodsy, you're blowing smoke up your own butt. It ain't like that.
Let me tell you though, this is the jolt that New York City needed for a fight. Javante Davis brings that sense of excitement, anticipation, because it's almost like Deontay Wilder during his heyday, where you're sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for that one moment to happen because it's gonna happen.
What it
And when it
what
does, it's
is it
like,
to you? Is it the hammer drop? Is it what is it? It's just that shift to when he attacks and he's that pit bull and that ferocity and it's whatever he's doing, it's almost so fast you can't even see. Your eyes can't even see it so fast, but it's devastating.
it happens in the blink of an eye.
So you gotta be ready. And then when you're there for something like that, it's a pretty heavy duty charge. Yeah. So you've seen him, you've seen Gervonta Davis, you and me both, man, from that heralded guy, ooh, coming up badass. All right, yeah, this is the next generation, etc. And now he's, what era is this for him?
Yeah,
What
but
era
listen,
is this for him?
but you know
What does
what?
that win mean? Is he doesn't stake supremacy with this win, but what era is it?
No, I mean, I would say that this would, if you know, if everything goes as what we think it will, this will be a really good win for him. But I think that what's more amazing, or not amazing, but you know what I'm fascinated more about is the evolution of Tank with his team, Calvin Ford, Kenny Ellis, because that
Okay.
Kenny Ellis is underestimated in when it comes to game planning and strategizing and all that. A lot of people overlook that, and he is a main cog in that machine for
Okay.
sure.
Got you.
And so you know, I'm more interested in seeing, you know, how, you know, what level Javante comes in there. Because listen, Lamont Roach is no punk. He almost gave Jamel Herring a run for his money when they fought that last time. He almost put him out late in the fight, and so
You have
um,
to expect him to be at his absolute best. Now, I can say that, and that sounds like a cliche, and we'd say about any fighter, but I really do truly think that he comes from that heavy stock gym life, boxing life, through and through, relishes this opportunity. There is some fear baked in. Of course, there is fear. Hey, I was watching an ESPN 30 for 30 on Tyson, chasing Tyson. That was yesterday,
mm,
right on the cusp of Buster Douglas, 42 and 1. Um, and so the subject of fear comes up when you are a person who can batter the other person into submission. That's a peculiar power, and that you're able to do it and that you don't get arrested and that people pay money for it. It's a fucking hell of a thing. It's a hell of a drug. Gervonta Davis, I'm going to keep it real for my generation. Generation X, baby. I'm born in 1969. Tyson born in 1966. Um, they don't make them like they used to. Mike Tyson is singular in and above himself. What he did back in the day, everyone should go and reacquaint themselves and find the damn footage and what have you. But we're not going to get back to that ever, I don't think. But there's a decent approximation of it in Gervonta Davis when I look forward to March 1st, 2025 in Barclays Center, round 7, maybe. There have been a lot of stank rounds now. There have been a lot of rounds throwing only 20 punches, and I don't like that low volume. Come on, man. Come on, Calvin Ford. Throw the old boy some little volume bone here. But, all right, it ain't your brain in there, Woods. So shut the fuck up. Round 7 should get, you know, much more interesting and looking to pull the trigger then. And that's when, eh, no, I won't say it. I'll let you say it. That's when people are looking and leaning in and looking for their what?
knockout.
Pound of flesh.
Yes, the pound of flesh, the pound of flesh. And listen, we're gonna transition from pound of flesh to maybe more of the pugilist side because February 22nd, Turki Alalshikh just announced that we're gonna get the rematch: Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol 2. Now, we started off the show talking about the word stacked, and that has been used loosely for years now,
Overly,
overly.
wickedly,
But I will say
flippantly.
this. But I will say this:
Yes.
this card on paper, not saying that it's going to result in it, but on paper looks like one of the most stacked cards of the year. And I'm going to read it off from the top to bottom, and then we're going to just talk about each one after I read them off. So you have the main event. Then you have Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. You have Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield. You have Carlos Adames versus Hamza Shiraz. Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov. Big Bang Zhang, Zhilei Zhang against Agate Kayabel. And then we have Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith. Callum Smith, who just fought on Saturday in an 8 round fight. So big card here. Let's talk. Let's go from bottom up. Buatsi, Callum Smith. Does that do anything for you, or do you think that this is probably the least discussed fight in this whole card?
This is a little mini tingle. Callum Smith, recognized name. Absolutely. Pretty strong Wikipedia presence there. You know, not forever left in the game. Wouldn't surprise me if he had between 1 and 3 years left in the game. Who knows, right? Buatsi, younger, fresher, used to be derided as being boring, but I think as he's gotten maybe older and more confident in himself, and also understanding you got to mix it up to rumble, and that could be decent. So you're starting out with name factor that's pretty impressive. That's why, and overall, we're going to start from the bottom and go up. But when you said stacked, I'm like, yeah, you and I both know we hate that. Everyone overusing stacked. But this one, pretty damn close, man. Pretty damn close. Everything on paper. And we always warn people between now and February, lots of things can happen. So,
Yeah, especially during the holiday season. And so
sure.
the next one, Big Bang Zhilei Zhang. So, he was trying to get the Dubois fight, trying to do this and that. But unfortunately, he didn't get those. But he's going to be fighting Agit Kabayel. And it's going to be for the vacant interim WBC heavyweight title. Um, Kaya Bell is not no punk. He is a tough fighter. However, he hasn't been in with world class fighters like Zhang has. And I think that's what the difference is going to be come that night.
Zhang, activity, edge, no doubt. Over the years, he has been keeping his vehicle and his vessel in order and using it properly. Absolutely. I like Zhang at the same level, I believe, that you do. Fair to say that there's a human component to it that we like that team, Big Bang team, and the Lane Boys. And so we root for them a little bit, not rooting against Kaya Bell, but he's the one. That one makes me think. Here's one for maybe someone who hasn't been following boxing too long. Patience, patience. If you can just hang there, if you could just stay there, as years pass, there's something called attrition. Others fall away. And Kaya Bell, who has, not been high on any fucking radars, just been steady, 2 fights here,
Hmm.
plying the trade, and being patient. And god dang it, last time out, he showed people like it's not just a build-up job. There's something to him. So there's interest in that fight right there. There's always interest in a Zhang fight. Always delivers, always a stoppage in his fight. Not stop it, Woods. All right, you're overselling. Stack, stack, stack. But yeah, that's another one that we're gonna like that one. What's not to like there?
Yeah, and he tries to always deliver the big bang. All right. The next one. So this is interesting. Virgil Ortiz Jr. is going to fight Israel Madrimov. Now, Jake Donovan for the ring is saying on X that Madrimov is still going to be fighting Serhii Bohachuk on December 21st during the Fury Usyk card. So he's going to fight on that card and then turn around and fight on February 22nd against Virgil Ortiz. I don't know if that's a recipe for disaster.
That doesn't seem plausible. When we said a couple minutes ago, hey, listen, between now and February, many a thing can happen and will. I'd put that under that heading of, and that's a Virgil Ortiz fight. So that's always an extra little asterisk there.
Mm-hmm.
whether it be weight situation or what have you, or illness, or yeah. So, but disposition is fate, as you have told me, Sarge. So I'll look towards that positive 2025. That's one to like if it comes off. Maybe do we got a feeling about that one? I don't know.
This
Let's
is the
just
thing,
keep it
sir.
on upbeat.
Yeah, I mean, that is looking overlooking Serhei Bohachuk, and I that could be a mistake because Serhei is one tough customer, as Virgil Ortiz found out earlier this year.
And in addition, if it makes it to that final card, another justification for using the term stacked.
Yeah, no, this is, and listen, I know that the whole thing in the last few days was that the Virgil Ortiz fight was offered to Xander Zayas,
Yes.
and he was given an hour to accept, and he said he took him 1 minute to do that. Now he posted on X that he asked Virgil Ortiz if he got bootsed in the situation because he said he signed it, and meaning that if Virgil is ducking Xander, but Virgil came back and said that he's got bigger fish to fry and that Xander's time will come. So
So, where do you think that leaves Xander and how he played this? Did he was it bad play here? It
no,
looked
I
silly,
think I
kid,
mean
or what?
no.
Be honest.
Xander was always going to fight in the first quarter anyway. Like I was
Right.
told that he was going to fight in the first quarter, so he was preparing to fight anyway. Now, I don't. It something could be said whether that was more like a business tactic, a negotiating
Yes.
tactic, to where like, hey, listen, if I don't get this guy, look, I have Xander here that's ready to rock and roll type of thing. And I don't know if he was used in that manner. I don't want to, put any words in people's mouths or anything like that. I don't know, but that could always be the case, right? That he was kind of used as part of the negotiating for something else.
You and I have mused before what percentage of what we talk about and then share with people is the truth of what goes on. You know, what percentage do you estimate it at? What are we told? What are we not told? A lot of stuff is done for show, puff the chest out, look tough, and then it recedes. The pen, the pen, like the penis, the impotence. You're impotent. You lose the pen. Let's bring it back to the good old days, Saj, when men were men, and pre boxing businessmen. When did that start? Again, I'm a little fixated on this 2005 or so. Big business infected stuff more. You know, became sports entertainment, but not in a really good way because we're supposed to be fucking real. You know, we're supposed to be the real stuff. Vince McMahon is supposed to be the play stuff, but we don't know. We haven't delivered that for a long time. And here, bring it back around, Woodsy. I think this card is one that I looked at and I said, I like this one, this one. Okay, that one makes sense to me. Hey, that one's promising. And I wasn't like, stacked. You're not stacked. All right.
Yeah,
So we keep hacking away and trying, brother.
yeah.
And third from the top of this fight
Oh,
card?
we're moving on up.
What are
So
we on? Yeah,
we're on Carlos Adames,
right.
facing Hamza Shiraz.
So that
Good
one is
fight.
just a good, solid PBC special, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore is only gonna know. Hardcore is only in the States, and then hardcore is only in UK. There are more hardcores, so
Mm-hmm.
Shiraz, he got to be. Is he the favorite fighter? Do you have the odds on that one?
No, I don't think that. I mean, they
Yeah,
just announced it, so
yeah.
they probably
Okay.
won't have it.
I'd be curious of that. I'd wonder what they would say on that one. That strikes me as a bit of a coin flip kind of fight.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Um, the only thing with Dames is his activity. I mean, Hamza has been more active, and so you would think
That's
that he
interesting.
would.
That's something you come back to. Notice points of repetition,
Yeah.
and geez, why does it make sense? Make sense to you in your life and athletes in their lives when you keep that machine in that proper condition and
Hmm.
it doesn't deteriorate and what have you. Must be a beautiful thing for them, for whoever that happens to, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'm sure deteriorating by the day.
You know, all of us, arguably, for sure. Um,
Now I'm gonna go one more up, and
yeah.
this one caught your interest right away because you gave the kudos, the slow '80s hand clap for Floyd Schofield, and like, hey, he's stepping up, taking a big fight now. Jamel Herring mentioned this on X too. Like, I don't like that Oscar keeps throwing the word prospect, because Floyd Schofield is ranked number like 2 in the WBA, and he's highly ranked in other sanctioning bodies. So he's really a contender. So, but this is a step up in competition, and so him not worrying about the O, or thinking about risking the O and saying no, I want that fight right now. Oscar was like, hey, you're 22 years old. There's time. You don't have the world class experience. Let's kind of work through it. That's the promoter in him, right? But he said also after that, he was like, well, if he really wants to fight, then we can talk about it. And I think that he got the gist from him that he really wants this fight. So he's like, all right, if you really, really want this, there you go.
Let me ask you this. Interpret that not from fan Abe or editor Abe, but better betting Abe. What is your interpretation of this kid stepping up, wanting this fight, and you knowing Shakur and his arc and his, you know, flirting with Mayweather type pound for pound promise, and but then just not delivering in terms of entertainment value. When you heard Oscar kind of, it seems like that's Oscar hedging his bets. Well, I'm not going to try to read Oscar's mind because he's smarter about this shit than I am, and clever too. But it's almost as if he's hedging there, hedging himself. Oh, I don't know why. The fight is already signed. Regardless, nothing would make me happier to see a situation where Shakur Stevenson was engaged in a fight.
And he may have to be
And
in
it
this one.
wasn't like feeling like, oh shit, I must escape this, but instead a real fucking fight. And I think Floyd Schofield could maybe force that to happen.
Hmm.
So I'll just be Mr. Optimistica, huh? 2025.
Yeah. And I
And
think
say, you
with
know what? That one makes me, 15% right there. Yeah, let me tune into that card. That's interesting to me.
yeah, because Floyd Schofield he may in his mind believe that Shakur can't hurt him. So if he absolutely buys into that, he could be coming right in through the front door, and Shakur will be forced to fight him off.
And we
And
figure that out probably pretty freaking quick, don't we?
yeah, yeah.
Shakur is, you're very quickly, he's going to go from zero to give me your best one. Yeah, okay. Oh,
Uh-huh.
you right there, that description there was whetting my appetite because that
Mm-hmm.
sounds very plausible what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I think, maybe this is the one that pushes, regardless of people not giving Floyd Schofield the credit of being like a legitimate contender, which I think he is.
Yeah,
This
sure.
this one might push Shakur to that next level of performance, right? That we haven't seen yet.
He, it was because you know why, pal? I'll take a stab at why. Because it was within that too well oiled machine. It's friction free there. It's boring. You need friction. Friction is the good parts of a lot of, but it's the hard parts also too. And that's what we want to see. Watching the sparring matches and the defensive wizardry. Fuck off. It's boring. Don't fucking tell me that it isn't. Fucking I don't know shit about boxing. Fuck you. Here's what I know about boxing. I turned you off after fucking 8 rounds. So
And,
fucking let's not have that happen, bro.
and let me
And
tell you
how
this.
do we get it so that doesn't happen? By there being something at stake, real feelings, real animosity. Maybe, oh, actually, a younger gun who 4 years ago, that was Shakur. This kid is like, motherfucker, my time is now. Well, then
Hmm.
fucking show it, Floyd Schofield. People will just say Floyd Schofield if you win that fight.
Uh-huh. And you know
That's
what?
meaningful. It could be. Act like it's fucking meaningful.
You know what's going to
Act
be
like
the.
you care. This is sort of a message to Shakur, but
Hmm.
to all of us, and sort of why I think that's one to be excited about.
You know what's going to be key in this? And before I say that, anybody that's on live, we got about 106 people here. If you want to, call in and comment, I put the link on the comments section of YouTube. Just hit it up, and we'll get you into the conversation if you want to just talk your shit or ask question or whatever the case may be. I think that the difference in this fight is going to be the size of the ring. Now, normally for a Shakur fight, it's pretty big, right? Give him the space to operate.
20, right?
What?
Vegas standard. Yeah.
Yeah, but being that it's better BF Bivol, which we're going to get into, and some of the heavyweights, I'm thinking there's going to be a smaller ring because they're going to want people to engage more, and that won't play into Shakur's game too much.
Yeah.
So that's going to force him to fight more, and I think that that plays into what you're saying, where fight's going to be that much more interesting.
Jeez. What's interesting about someone when they're not being tested?
Yeah.
Doesn't interest me at all, bro. I think this Floyd Schofield brings a test. It
Yep.
does make me hesitate a little bit though, thinking, Oscar, you trying to hedge or something? No, maybe he's trying to be clever. Maybe he's trying to lower expectations, but secretly he thinks, no, this fucking, who knows? We'll see how it plays out, but it's one of the elements here. What I'm saying is, and this is bang for the buck, baby. This is looking like a card I can wrap my arms around, be like, all right, 2025, you stupid year. Maybe you'll be a good year in boxing and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe you will be. Gotta keep. You
Yeah.
don't gotta keep. You can be disposition is fate, right? Either way, you can be like, it's gonna be another fucking shit one. Well, if you say it's gonna be another shit one, it's probably gonna be another shit one.
Nah, I think I'm being optimistic. I think it's going to be
That's
a good one.
it. That's it.
I think it's going to be a good one. All right, listen.
Oh, hey,
So,
hey, can I
oh
can I can I give a plug out, bro?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Little Purity Diner is on corner of 7th Avenue and 12th Street in Park Slope, Brooklyn, 11215. It's a great place. I recommend.
Me too.
Classic burger there. I think it's like, it's a good deal for nice plate of food. It's like $12, fries, solid, solid. So some people are going to be looking at this in the next over span of time, and they'll be coming to Brooklyn for fights. And well, hey, guess what? Maybe you'll be there too.
Maybe. Speaking of plates and burgers and some meat, um, Daniel Dubois, heavyweight, right? He's fighting Joseph Parker. Now, I like this fight a lot. Dangerous fight for Dubois.
Parker is at career peak
Like number three.
as far as skills and confidence. Beyond that, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And Dubois coming off that majestic, it was fucking majestic. Fuck that. Don't diminish the kid's shit. This one is a beautiful thing. And I like them both because Dubois, oh, this humble, nice fucking kid. No dickishness about him. No playing no fucking games. And whatever. I'm not an AJ hater either, right? Don't hate the
Dubois
guy.
was treated like
But
shit though.
Dubois just beautiful. You got a underdog. You got mad underdog love for that cat. So that's one where just like, yeah, thank you. That's a good fucking heavyweight fight.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around and covering the sport for enough decades to not take that for granted.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah. And Joseph Parker, man, like this, the thing with Joseph Parker is that sometimes though he'll come in there and lay an egg bad, like he did against Joe Joyce.
I think that's the old Parker, bro.
You think so?
I think with Andy Lee, and I think he's a different freaking animal.
Mm,
And yeah, he is. We might be talking about him next year at this time as the guy holding shit at that and more of them straps.
mm,
Absolutely, he's at a peak.
yeah. And maybe this is listen, for Daniel Dubois, right? There was a lot of hype behind him in the UK, coming out of Olympics and everything else. And so um when he lost to Joe Joyce, like that really set him back. And then he's worked so hard to get back to where, almost demanded respect and nobody would give it to him. And then he
He
pounded out
did.
Anthony Joshua. And then it's like, oh, like this is the guy that was always supposed to be here, but he just took a took a detour, involuntarily, right? And so,
And has done it sort of old school British style, like true
yeah,
humble, not like braggadocious, cocky, trying to be flippant and funny and whatever, that shit, right? Little Nas and fuck, nah, just old school OG throwback dude. Gotta
not
love
wearing
him,
a
frankly.
not wearing a sheriff badge in the U.S.
Sheriff of fucking what?
I remember you told me
That
that
fucking
that.
sheriff badge. I mean, maybe it'll work. I don't know if you get pulled over or something, you fucking asshole.
Oh, I remember you told me that Nigel Ben went to Gleason's and was wearing that badge in there. I think you asked him what was that badge for?
No, no, it was. Wait, it wasn't it Eubank Senior?
Oh no, not Nigel Ben. I'm sorry, Chris Eubank Senior.
Eubank
Eubank
Senior.
Senior, not Nigel Ben. I'm
And
sorry.
I looked, and I was up on the ring ropes, and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? What year would that have been? Fucking
18, I think 18, 19.
2018. Been covering boxing since shit. I'm looking over at this trove of stuff since the mid '90s, whatever. And
He
and
was wearing a badge.
and he was wearing that badge, and I'm like, all right, I got to be deferential and play into this, and do you mind if we can do some video? And he's like, who are you? Who are you with? I was like, okay, at the time, well, I'm the publisher, editor of NY Fights, and was at ESPN, blah, 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 whatever. He's like, yeah, I don't think so. Giving it like a Kardashian fucking treatment. And I'm just like, you motherfucker. All right. Fuck you. Um, dude, so rare.
Yeah,
So rare that people fucking pull that trip. And
yeah.
you know me, I got Next, no, less than no interest for putting up with that. So
Mm-hmm. All right. The main event, right? Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. Interesting that they're doing the fight quickly because initially there was talk that they were going to wait a full year before doing it, right? But now it's happening, and I don't know. Like I felt that as soon as Dmitry Bivol got hit in that first round, I think it was like a small, like a two punch, two, 3 punch combination by Beterbiev towards the end of the round. Like that almost gave him the warning signal, like, oh man, we can't be doing this anymore. And the rest of the fight, he fought, cautiously. I still believe though that he edged it out slightly. Bivol
agree.
did. Um, I think that this fight you're gonna probably see better BF take more risk because maybe to a certain degree he was a little hesitant himself because he didn't know
How
exactly.
much more can he press, though?
Yeah, I
How much, you know? At what can he do 5% more?
mm,
Ah, Bivol is that fucking smart robot fighter, bro. I wouldn't
yeah.
bet against him on this. May I say, my first thought in when we mentioned this one is let me offer congratulations for just what you mentioned first, that they got this together and the Turk gets it done, the rematch so quickly in a timely fashion, no fucking around. And that's a beautiful thing. Actually very rare. And so want to give public congratulations for doing the right thing and running this one back. Absolutely. Sometimes, oftentimes, people make too much. Run it fucking back. What, you got something
Uh huh.
fucking better to do? How
Yeah.
many times you want to fight or not fucking fight a year? Fucking run it back. That's what you fucking guys do. Fucking fight. Old
Yeah.
school style. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm if I'm looking at it betting wise, I'm saying Bivol is a robot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all I'm
T-
saying.
yeah. Um, yeah. He is a machine when it comes to that, and
Yep.
I just I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna win him again because it just seems like the judges that night just weren't really feeling his style.
So here's the thing. We got it's a quick sequel, but not so quick that we don't know what the fuck we're doing as far as who them judges are going to be, right? And that's when our managers earn their damn fucking keep,
Hmm.
or Aegis Clamus and whoever, right? On either sides. What's the guy's name over on Bivol's side? That kid.
Um.
Young kid. He was
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
forever.
I
20s,
can't.
30s.
I can't remember his name. But I know you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Um so them cats, listen, as one part of the brutal truth of this game is sometimes the shit gets better after the shit gets worse. Meaning after people deteriorate, some of the reflexes go down, they get a little bit older and shit, and that's when the fucking good fights happen. So that's why as when I'm assessing this fight, sort of from stand back, take a step back and look at it all. A lot of those people are like 10 years in the game. There's a lot of vets on there. From the Callum Smith, from the Caballal, go see how far back he goes. So these are all people who know what the fuck they're there for. There's a lot of good on paper rumbles on there. Whoever was the matchmaker or matchmakers on there, I'm saying bravo, right? If we want to start this out as like we're looking ahead to 2025 and peace and love to all motherfuckers, unless proven otherwise. Fuck you. I love you. Uh, Good luck. We want people to do well. We want people to be busy. We want people to have activity. We want people to have options. And by people, I mean, I'll say for myself, people like me. I'm a fan. I'm a regular person. I want to be entertained. This is a brutal and stupid and fucking unfair and rotten world in many ways if you stop to think about it too much. And so we don't stop to think about it. all the time, and sometimes we need them diversions. And god damn it, let's go for boxing for some good diversionary time. This card should be, paying dividends there, baby. Rock and roll 2025. Here we go.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you, is this is this a card that it doesn't matter what the pay-per-view price is going to be, or do you feel like there has to be a limitation to this when it comes to this card specifically?
May I say, my friend, that as the years pass and knowing you more and more often in such a situation, I would like to turn it back and ask you the question, because you are astute. I'm going to say very astute, what goes on and how things are programmed and such. So it's like I want to throw that one right back at you, and because I'm a curious person, and see what do you think? Then I'll go.
Yeah, so I know Turkey Alalshikh was talking about, hey, we're gonna go down to 20 or at least cheaper than what it was before. This one coming up with Tyson Fury is 40. Yeah, it's 40,
It's
39.99,
39, right? Yeah, it's yeah.
39.99. Is this the one that he spikes it back up, to
I
69
think
or
this is okay.
79?
Yeah, I think this is the cap. 40 is the cap for now. And then as we go forward, who knows, right? It's difficult. I will say this. I don't want to be perceived as like, oh, well, don't be trying to tell people don't buy a pay per view or what have you. Listen to me. I recognize the limitations of the sport. It is a blood sport. Concussions happen all the time, et cetera, et cetera. There's a difficulty in marketing boxing, so it gets a lot of passes in a lot of areas for me. Um, but anyways, I'm ranting a little bit there, Sarge.
So give it to me. Is it 39.99
Yeah, they're gonna cap it at 40, and
or
then I
we talking
can't
about a little bit
imagine
more?
anything that. Well, no, see, of course I can't imagine something that'll be more. I, I don't know.
Oh,
Let me kick it back. Let me kick it back to you. All right, you more than me in that you are a man, married man. One, two kids, etc. You're making your decisions on your bills, your extraneous income, or what have you. Let me put it to you like that. If this one is going to be $40, and does it matter if they're 40, or do you cap yourself? You don't buy the 89. Does your wife yell at you? What's it at with you?
yeah. I mean, I think this is the one that you pay a little extra. And listen, Woods, just so you know, we may have a special guest joining us here for a quick second to talk
Oh,
about something on this card. He said to give me a second, so let's see what
okay.
happens. But
Always
um
like when you do that. I haven't not liked it yet. One of these days, you should really bring on someone who I don't like to see my reaction and watch it fucking go south.
yeah, actually, I think it's Al Heyman that's coming on. I'm kidding. I'm
Love.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Sure, that'd be
I'm
great.
kidding.
No. Who
No, I'm
if
kidding.
who would you bring on if you wanted to piss me off?
Oh man, Eddie Hearn.
No, no, not piss
No.
off. Oh
Oh,
no,
man. Yeah,
you know.
Hey, listen. So listen. Um,
You're not letting me say it right there. Okay, moving on.
hey, I think that it's an event that is going to be at least 60 or $70. I have to believe that. The only way that it isn't is if Turkey really wants to, keep it underneath that threshold, which is
Bro,
I'd have to
bro,
assume it's like 50 bucks.
I'm gonna put it out there. This might be total fucking bullshit, but I don't think it is. I think sometimes actual media, such as yourself, are listened to, paid attention
Oh,
to,
hold on.
and I think if you keep banging the drums, and the people are saying
Th-
to you, "Hey, that
There,
cap of 40 really helps me," I don't know. Maybe it can stay there, man.
what?
Wow, look
Oh,
at my face. That's a pretty good guess.
hey,
Hey, what's
hey,
happening, fellas?
all
That's
right,
that. Yo, Abe, that's better than I expected. I'm not going to
yeah.
tell you who I was expecting, but Terry Lane is a pretty good get.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Terry Lane of the Terry Lane of the Lane family, Lane brothers, who advise uh, heavyweight Big Bang, Zhilei Zhang. Terry, what's going on with you, man? This big announcement just hit. Card is fully stacked. Your guy is getting a fighter that, if I'm not mistaken, was a guy that you guys were trying to get before. Tell us how it all came about, and was this the guy that you guys wanted all along?
Well, Abe, first of all, thanks for having me on. Every fight is different, and this one took so many twists and turns. We love the fight with Ajit, but we were ready to fight Bacoli, Ajit. We wanted to fight Parker. It looked like we were going to fight Parker for like a couple months there. I mean, even going back to the summertime, and of course, then the shakeup happens when Dubois beats AJ, and it was like, hey, maybe we can fight Dubois. And to my understanding, I hope I'm not revealing too many secrets here, but when Dubois took a little vacation, he came back. He was proposed some names of who he wanted to fight for an optional defense, voluntary defense. We were on that list. Parker's on that list, and he took Parker, which is I can understand that. And then it got into like, well, who are we going to fight? And twists and turns come and happen. I think at one point Ajit and Bacoli, they had almost agreed to terms, but something happened there that killed the fight. I'm not going to say exactly what happened. It's not for me to say, but again, like I always say, it's a game of musical chairs, and you don't want to be the last one standing. But here we are. It's been a long time in the making. I'm so glad it's on the books and finally announced, because I've had to shut my mouth for too long now.
Hey, Mike, go ahead.
Terry Lane, how are you doing? Good to see you. Your shining, happy face. You are one of the upbeat stories in boxing over the past couple of years. For myself personally, the big heavyweight Zhang Zhilei, another one. Just straight up, no downsides on it. I think it's been a beautiful thing. I wish sometimes that boxing had a more prominent place overall in media, etc., and maybe more people knew about it. But I think it's pretty, it's very well known within the sport. Do believe you guys are getting paid at an effective rate too, and you're doing right by your kids. So I don't know. I'm getting a little bit sappy here. You know me, Sarge. I'm a feelings guy. It's good to see. It's good to see Terry doing this. As I get older, I get sappier, and I probably more start talking like Kriegel shit about fathers and all that fucking shit, right?
Hey, I love that.
But
Me, I'm
but you guys know me long enough. I've always been sort of having some of that the emotional aspect to what it is we do, and also how real life you know me. I like to traffic and fucking in real life, and
yeah.
this sport a lot of the time isn't that. Now let me swing it quickly back to sort of the reporter in me. Terry, are there stakes implied or explicit in the contract? What a win in this fight does for your guy.
Well, listen, I mean, okay, so yeah, there could be. First of all, we are fighting for the vacant interim WBC title,
Mhm.
but what we understand is that the WBC is not going to their mandatory is not coming up in the immediate future. So if we win, and Caballel's coming to win himself, so we're not overlooking this at all by any means. I mean, it's such an amazing card. I can't believe we're number two. It looks like on the bout sheet. I mean, we have no ego. That's okay for us, and plus our
Yeah,
people in China our people in China can watch it at a better hour for them. So we're happy. We're happy. But what a card to be on. But yes, we will have that interim. Actually, we're still looking into the possibility. I don't know if this is going to happen, but Parker, who beat us for the WBO interim, he will have to give that up to fight for the IBF. So maybe there's a chance we could fight for that too. We're talking to Queensberry about that. In fact, because this fight just got announced, Alex Dombrov, who's doing on this side of the pond, the legal work for Queensberry, he said, "Hey, do you want to come to dinner? Let's celebrate." So I'm about to head downtown here in New York to the West Village and go celebrate with Alex and just kind of breathe a sigh of relief. But again, you have, all the powers that be that still want to make Fury and Joshua, but Joshua wants to fight for a belt. Whatever happens in the Usyk fight this December, Usyk Fury rematch, that's going to dictate a lot of this. It's just this. We thought we knew what the heavyweight division was, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and it's just completely disrupted, which is great. So look, we got to play that game of musical chairs and be in the right place at the right time, but we're still looking for the big one. We still want our title shot. And but listen, the Saudis are and Turki Alalshikh has helped cut a lot of the red tape and make this easier. And I just when everybody saw the fight poster, and I saw it when you guys saw it, every single major promoter is on there. I mean, Queensberry, Matchroom, BBC, Golden Boy, Top Rank. I mean, this is truly everybody coming together to make this happen.
That has been our theme as we've talked about it. Positivity, optimism, looking on the bright side, disposition is fate, etc. Terry Lane, you talk in our book. That's what we've been talking about. So hopefully it continues. Positivity, baby.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And what's up with your guy Zhang and how is he taking all of this? And I know he's been in the gym, but I'm sure now he'll be ramping up his social media videos and talking about he's banging everybody and all that.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, that was a happy accident. That phrase that will be on his tombstone, man. I mean, I bang everything. But now he can talk about it. We can talk about it. It's no longer a secret. I mean, gosh, truly, a few weeks ago, we were even still with the Saudis' help, maybe going to do Zhang as a main event in China. And so then that idea got scrapped, and we might do that mid next year when there's not a Riyadh season, but Riyadh season might be a part of it. So we just been busy, but no fight to really talk about or anything that we could talk about. But he's in great spirits. He's never not working. So he always stays in that kind of baseline level of ready. He's the easiest guy to work with in that respect. It's just the visa and the travel stuff. That's the only problem that he presents, and that's out of his control, but he's extremely professional. He's extremely disciplined. He's been doing the strength and conditioning and the boxing training. We're going to start sparring, probably ramp that up in January. But yeah, as you said, Abe, things are going to ramp up starting now. Okay.
Yeah. And listen, it's the year of the dragon for the Chinese. So I'm sure that, he is taking this as
Hold
part
on. What
of,
does that mean? Year of the Dragon. Does that mean something that Zhang's definitely going to win?
No, I mean,
technically, I think by the time this card happens, we'll be on the other side of the new Chinese New Year. So I'm not sure what the animal is, but look, Year of the Dragon we went 1 for 1. So, but we listen, he felt great during the Wilder fight. We made some minor tweaks. We're going to implement those again. Totally different fight this time. But we're looking forward to it.
Terry Lane, let me tell you, the United States boxing scene, I think, could use a little bit of a helping hand, man. I think there's been too much quiet, actually, in 2024. So much of the bang is being done by the Turk, right? What about 2025? Were we going to put our stamp of, approval on?
Well, listen, my brother and I mean, we cut our teeth as promoters, and we've been trying to get some of our own TV dates. We want to get back to Reno and Tahoe and do shows there. That's another thing we've been working on. Actually, we could have some of this international element kind of help out in that respect. I hope the planets align to make that happen. But you're right. I mean, listen, even Vegas isn't getting the big fights anymore, Mike. I mean, they're all going here, and every single one of those fights on the February 22nd card could be a Las Vegas main event easily. But they're all getting put together and condensed and put up there.
We over here, come on, people ain't giving up the fight. We're looking ahead towards March 1st at Barclays Center. I haven't talked to the people over there. I don't know who's running the program over there, but I love to see it. They will absolutely 18,000 there packed in. It will smell like sweat, and it will smell like reefer, and it will smell like impending violence coming, and people gonna dig it, man.
Sure.
So let's do more of that shit. And fucking, you got the guy. No, Terry, this ain't on you. You do your home run fucking thing for Zhang in China, man. You blow that fucking thing out because that motherfucker deserves it. I will. You bring me there. I will bring on. I will bring my most ill-fitted suit brought by Gary Jonas. I don't give a fuck, and I will prophesize, and I will say this
Sure.
fucking guy deserves it. So you make that happen. I know
Well,
you're gonna
listen,
make it happen. I know you got the best interest of that guy, and you and your
look,
brother
yeah,
and your decent souls. And I like when good people
thanks.
win, motherfucker.
Well, listen, I mean, I will say China's been something we've been working on for a long time, but there is some interest in some minor discussion about doing an MSG fight with Jalay as well. So,
Bro,
look, he's got
sign me
the,
up for
yeah,
that.
I
Sign
know,
me
yeah,
up for we're gonna
yeah.
do the cooking classes. We're gonna do everything on the show. It's gonna be called it's Zhang Big Bang Zhang Can Cook, motherfuckers.
I will say this though, because I'm working so well with them. Queensberry, they just got their new DAZN deal, and they're signing. I'm not going to talk too much about it. They're signing some U.S. guys, and they're trying
Okay.
to do show. They're trying to bring shows over here as well. So, look,
Yeah, we need more
yeah,
activity here, Terrence. We do. You
yeah, no,
know,
I do.
The
I agree
Turk
with
been
you.
stealing a lot of the thunder. I want some thunder here, bro. I deserve thunder. Come on now.
Sure, sure, absolutely. No, I agree with you, Mikey.
All right.
Hey, listen, Terry, we appreciate you. We're probably gonna head on out because I gotta go get my son from school and all that. It's 4 o'clock here, so thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I wish you guys the best of luck. And if you have any final words for the people that are tuned in right now.
I just say let's get it on. But it's good to see you and you both of your faces, especially you, Mike. I haven't seen you in a while, but Abe, always a pleasure, man. Thank you guys, and good night.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right,
Take
Woods.
care.
Peace.
Peace.